Yes, that's right. I am finally back. As if anyone watches these videos. I'm just doing a bit of setup changes. And this time it's the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And the reason why it's joined with the Canadian Grand Prix is I hit the wall there. You'll see in a bit. And yeah, I thought I was going to have a easy qualifying because I was a second above Carlos's 141.1. But I couldn't be more than wrong. I think you can see from the minimap he's being held up from the Alfa Romeo, or was he exiting the pits? I'm not so sure. But DRS to the line right now, it is going to be a 140.2. So that was a pretty decent lap, not the 39s, but the 39s is the target lap time around here. And so it's Daniel Ricciardo in P2. Pierre Gasly makes into Q2. Sebastian Vettel also. Fun fact, Valtteri Bottas is actually yet to score points in this career mode. So, yep, and this is Q2. This was a failed attempt. I had a lot of mistakes in the middle sector, so that's why we were 3 tenths lower than our Q1 time. And I did try going out for another run, but that was pretty much useless. I gave up after the 4th corner. So yeah, George Russell fastest in Q2. And it's looking at the moment that Carlos Sainz isn't having a great quali. 140.1, 141.1, and the 140.9. Yeah, so in our first Q3 run, I decided to go with a used pair of soft compound. So that's why the lap kind of sucked. And we're going through the main straight now. Oh, going up to 348 kilometers an hour. And we said a 141.3, and that's not a great lap. Carlos Sainz, 140.9. And right here. So now in our final run, Q3, we make a grave mistake by not turning on the DRS in the straight right here. I did not notice at the time. I only noticed it while I was looking at rewatching this footage. And yeah, just going through the straight. I obviously used a flashback there. A bit of track limits, a bit cheeky there. Now through the castle section. This is where Leclerc was stupid in. But I'm absolutely flying in the middle sector. Yeah, and the goal is going to be a 139, but that mistake may be costly, as I think I made contact with the wall there again. Right now, and now to the entrance of Sector 3. Setting a purple middle sector there. And I think everyone is on their final run, so I'm going to be the last one setting their final time. Gasly did not go out for a final run. I'm guessing he didn't have another stretch set as well. Right now we're 1.3 up. And it's going to be a 139.9. I think we're the first in the 39s. So yeah, what I did was kind of hold on for a bit for everyone to finish the lap so that the simulated times won't be so OP. And we ended up getting pole on Carlos by 2 milliseconds. And if you looked at the delta in the section where I didn't turn on my DRS, I pretty much lost 2 tenths there. So it would have been a 39.7. But yeah, great quality anyways. It's a Ferrari front row lockout for the race on Sunday.
Good afternoon and welcome from Baku. This was the arena, if you think back to 2017, of one of the most eventful races of modern history, with controversy behind the safety car, last-second overtakes, and a historic podium for Williams and for Lance Stroll. Let's find out what lies in store for us this year. It's time for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. The Baku city circuit measures roughly 6 kilometers, and it's made up of 20 corners and 2 DRS zones. The circuit winds around the narrow city, through the old town, and even brushes against the city's medieval walls. However, as beautiful as the setting is, this track is also a ferocious technical challenge, where the smallest of mistakes could lead to a catastrophic consequence for any one of our drivers. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Maverick lines up on pole position, and the smooth operator Carlos Sainz completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Verstappen, Hamilton, Sergio Perez, and Russell, Fernando Alonso, Norris, Ricciardo, and Pierre Gasly, Vettel, Tsunoda, Lance Stroll, and Joe, Bottas, Albon, Esteban Ocon, and Mick Schumacher. Magnussen and Charles Leclerc completes today's grid order. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. Anthony Davidson is here once again for today's Grand Prix. Let's talk about Maverick. That was a great podium in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
There are never any guarantees in this business, but certainly the performance last time out would have boosted their confidence coming into this one.
Alright, so it's time for final preparations before lights out. Checking the strategy. It's going to be a medium to hard. For this Grand Prix, we're going to go with 27 laps of fuel. Maybe a bit much.
Okay,
I like
so our system checks it good. Stay in
I
formation, bring the car
should be
up.
able to have a good one right now, right before the line. Just trying to put in more heat into the rear tires. And yeah, right, lining perfect.
Okay,
here at
incredible
pit stop.
parking there, nice one. That's going to
Waiting
give you
for
the edge if you
everyone,
can get good launch as the race
to appear
starts.
right now.
Keep an eye on the lights, the start sequence will begin as soon as the grid is formed.
Azerbaijan
Be ready with the
Grand
clutch.
It's going to be a short run down to turn 1. Here we go. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And away we go for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And I get a terrible start, getting passed by Carlos Sainz. Now Lewis Hamilton. Verstappen over go on the inside. He's not able to make it. And yeah, we're going to try to find an opening on Hamilton. And not good enough. Just can't find one right. There's not enough room. And we have a bit of oversteer on the exit right there. And Max Verstappen is right on our backs. Is he going to attempt to move round the outside of turn 4? Right here. Verstappen, not enough room there. Verstappen's going to make a move here. And he doesn't leave us enough room. And we crash into the wall. So we've got the 2018 form of Max Verstappen in F1 22 right now with his onboard. We did go a bit defensive there, but that's clean here. He just turns in on us right there before the corner. And now with my onboard, you can see here we may have pushed him a bit too deep. And in the next corner, we may have been too aggressive with the turn-in, but then he just turns left onto my into me. And here's the onboard of Pierre Gasly, who benefits massively from this as he climbs up from P7 into P5. That's going to get a lot of good points for the AlphaTauri. So yeah, that's us out of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
And so ends another Azerbaijan Grand Prix. A fascinating race and a well-deserved victory. Well, Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today, but what set them apart from the rest? Well, Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
Yeah, so some pretty interesting results. You can see Fernando Alonso finishes P4, Vettel gets his first points of the season and Yuki Tsunoda's in P7, and that's because Carlos and Max DNF as well. So yeah, Mercedes take a 1-3 here, double podium here in Azerbaijan. And if I'm not wrong, there hasn't been 1-2s yet in this season. And yeah, just an absolute stinker of a result from me. I think that could have been avoidable on my end too, but Max just turned left mid-corner. So yeah. Oops, my bad. I'm just checking out the replay there already. Let's check out the standings. Yep. Me and George are tied on points, and Lewis Hamilton's in P3. And Sebastian Vettel climbs up into P14. And yeah, Carlos Sainz remains in P4. So it's very close now, as Mercedes take the top seat in the standings. So we're going to have to make up a lot for the Canadian Grand Prix.
Who's the boy that can laugh at a storm cloud, turn a frown into a smile for free? Who's the kid with a heart full of magic? Everyone knows it's Butters.
That's me.
Right, so enough of that bit. You're going to be staring at Butters' face for the entire rest of the video. But right here, we're being covered up by Alex Albon, that Thai prick. I actually went to Thailand recently, it was I. But yeah, right there, we have to back off on this lap. And we're going to go for a charge lap and then another lap. And yeah, we're 1.3 seconds quicker than Lando Norris. He's at a purple first sector, but just a green middle sector. We're really struggling in the middle sector in Canada. But I am flying in the final sectors. I like taking a wider line at the hairpin so I can get a better exit, because exit speed matters more than entry in this instance. But right here, flying through the final chicane, it's going to be a 1:10.9, slower than George Russell, but it's going to be enough to get us into Q2. Only P10 though, so that's a bit concerning. And our teammate Carlos Sainz is in P4, but we are running out of battery in the final straight there. So now, and onto our first Q2 run, you can see Max Verstappen just right there ahead. I think he set the fastest time. He's going into the pits, going to the final chicane, remaining in 4th gear, opening up the DRS wide open on the final stretch to the line. We're less than a tenth slower than Max Verstappen through our first lap. And now time for our second Q2 lap. We're purple in the first sector. Is it going to be purple in the middle, green in the middle? We prioritize entry speed here, but we're going to take a wider line on the exit, gaining much more time than we did on our previous run here, in our previous Q2 run. We have a lot more battery than we did in our final Q1 run. Right now, 5/10 up on the Delta. DRS opening right here on the final stretch. We're a lot faster. It's going to be a 1:10.0. And that lap time is enough to send me into Q3. But Carlos is a 10th quicker. Lewis Hamilton, P9. Mick Schumacher just missing out. Fernando Alonso in P4. Yeah, this is going to be setting up a very interesting Q3. Lewis Hamilton struggling after a very strong weekend in Azerbaijan. But anyways, time for our banker lap. Right now, going in sector 2, it's only a green middle sector because we're on used soft compound tires to save it for our final Q3 run. Lewis Hamilton only setting a 1:11.1, and after having a very great weekend in Azerbaijan. George Russell 1:10.6, 1:3 for Mercedes in Azerbaijan. So was that a fluke? But he just won 2 races in a row as well. But going through the final chicane, remaining in 4th gear, opening up the DRS right now. Past the 1:09, it's only going to be a 1:05, but again, this is just a banker lap. And now going on to our final run, I may have exited the pits too early, but you can see that we're 1/10 up on our lap time, gaining a lot of time. Purple first sector, 3/10 up on Carlos Sainz, and yeah. Now going on to onto our middle sector, purple middle sector. I'm about to set the entire track map purple, getting a wider line there to get a better exit. opening up the DRS, using up all the battery down the back straight, and gaining more time to 330 kilometers an hour, going through the final chicane, not making a mistake right here. 9/10 up, nearly a second up, and we set a 1:9.5 as our final run, and we're a second quicker than our first run, than our banker lap. And yeah, that was an insane lap time. And just like in Azerbaijan, I had to hold off to see if I'll actually get pole or not. And we're just being pushed back into the pits, waiting for the F1 theme to play. And we are in pole position. Butters is good luck. Butters is actually good luck. Butters doesn't really have good luck in this show, but it's pole position in Montreal in the Canadian Grand Prix, Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve, and it's pole by half a second. That lap was amazing. That felt great driving it too. Lewis Hamilton down in P7 though. That's very disappointing. After coming off a great weekend, how many times do I have to say that? 3/10 behind his teammate. Ferrari front the roll lock on Verstappen in P3. And yeah, this grid sets up an interesting race because the Alpine, P8, and McLaren looks like they've got their shit together. Yeah, it's time for the Canadian Grand Prix.
It's time once again then to go racing here in Montreal, the second largest French-speaking city in the world, and home since 1978 to the Canadian Grand Prix. We'll be seeing top speeds of around 210 miles per hour here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, with around 2/3 of the lap taken at full throttle. High-speed chicanes spell potential danger, especially at the infamous Wall of Champions, and watch out for overtaking into the hairpin and that final chicane. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Maverick lines up on pole position, and a very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Russell, Sergio Perez, and Ricciardo, Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Norris, and Esteban Ocon, Mick Schumacher, Magnussen, Guan Yu Zhou, and Tsunoda, Bottas, Gasly, Sebastian Vettel, and Lance Stroll. Leclerc and Alex Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? And joining me again for the race today, Natalie Pinkham. Let's talk about Maverick. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, they've been avoiding mistakes and have had solid pace, so it's been a good season so far. But whether they can keep that up long term remains to be seen.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Right, so just some final prep before we begin the Canadian Grand Prix. I have to do 35 minutes worth of voice. Oh, 50. It's a 51-minute video. How do I shorten these? Yeah. Wait, let me cut this real quick. Right, so we're heading to the grid now, and yeah, this race is gonna make up for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, which I DNF'd from, because the amount of carnage, the amount of battles is insane. But anyways, just waiting for everyone else to line up on the grid. It's the last person. It's gonna be 5 red lights, 5 red lights ahead of us. It's lights out and away we go. We get a decent start with a bit of wheel spin right there. Max Verstappen is on the inside. We may have not left him enough room. He collides with our rear left wheel. Verstappen gets ahead into turn 1. Carlos gets ahead of Checo. We're going to defend our position going into turn 4 or 3 down into the chicane. Checo gets ahead of Carlos Sainz. He lost 2 positions at the start. Me and Max are way ahead of Checo and Carlos, and as they're jostling for position right now. George Russell is trying to get into the podium position. He has slipstream on Checo as we get Max Verstappen down the inside and make him drop back a few more places. We get a brilliant exit now. Max Verstappen. Here's Carlos Sainz going down the inside of Max Verstappen on the hairpin. He's gonna Max is gonna have a much better exit than Carlos as he gets ahead here. And the slipstream, Carlos is getting. I think we have the more powerful engine than the Red Bull powertrain, as Carlos is gonna try and go down the inside of the final chicane. Verstappen defends the position. And yeah, they're now 2.5 seconds behind me, 2.5 seconds clear of the grid. But here's Max Verstappen blocking Carlos Sainz, but Checo goes down the inside. They make contact as Checo will get the much better exit and gets ahead of Verstappen. And the fast forward 5 laps, we're now on board with Lewis Hamilton on trying to overtake Lando Norris. He's in the DRS range. You can see Checo has held on to that P2 spot, so this is very unrealistic. It's Hamilton right now behind Lando Norris. Yep, he's gonna have to wait for the DRS zone because he can't really make a move. Should I get more aggressive AI? No, I can't compete with that. But here we go. DRS open for the McLaren, the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. He gets down the inside of Lando Norris. Fairly simple overtake. He gets ahead before the corner even. But what can Lando do going into the hairpin? As you can see, Ricciardo has caught up. I mean. And nope, Norris not gonna do anything. He's just gonna stick behind Hamilton. In fact, Hamilton gets a much better exit than Lando. And that's it for this battle. Let's see, Valtteri Bottas is going to be the first driver to pit, and on the very next lap it's going to be Kevin Magnussen as he exits the pit lane ahead of Valtteri Bottas. Yeah, Bottas was quite behind. It's only 7 tenths behind now. But anyways, lap number 10, we return to the battle between between P2 and P4. George Russell has joined the DRS train since. Lewis Hamilton is very far back after a brilliant weekend at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Right now on board with Sergio Perez going in. He hits the wall of champions and yeah, he's out of the race. His rear left wheel has gone. Here's the onboard here. Just a silly mistake there. His rear right wheel, my bad, is gone now. And it's going to deploy the safety car. I haven't seen that in a while since the Imola Grand Prix. You can see there. Just a silly mistake. Get ready to learn Chinese, buddy. But yeah, now it's time for the safety car restart. And we're going to be going very, very slow. You can see here. A road car is faster than this. 78 kilometers an hour only. We're gonna try and get get the power down as late as possible, just to catch them napping. But they could probably expect it. As you can see, we're only 150 kilometer an hour, and we're committed to the one stop on these hards. You can see me ahead right now, just weaving as much as possible in front of Max Verstappen. Just backing him up, backing the entire field up as we go right before the first turn, final chicane, whatever. We get a decent getaway. We're 4 tenths ahead of Max, and that's it already, unless he can get a good exit right here. Try to catch me or something. He's only half a second behind, but that's not going to last long, as he loses time in the corners. It's very fast. He's already 7 tenths down on us. And yeah, I'm not sure if I caused that much havoc on by going super slow on the restart. We get a poor exit through there. Verstappen's catching up. He's only 4 tenths behind. 3 tenths now. What can he do going to the hairpin? Max Verstappen gaining, and gaining. 3 tenths, 2 tenths. We're going to push Max slightly wide there, but that's going to give him a much better exit. Carlos Sainz tries to make a move down to the hairpin. He's not close enough. Verstappen gets a better exit. What can he do here? No DRS yet. It's just the first lap of the safety car restart. He's going to go for the outside. You block him, and he goes into the pits. He goes into the pits. So they're pitting so early. With the hard tire, people with the drivers with the hard tires on. He's going to come out ahead of this. George Russell jumps Carlos Sainz. Oh wow, that was unexpected. So George Russell, Russell is net position P3, and Max is not going to lose that much on Hamilton. And Hamilton's in a disadvantage because they're not held up by any traffic or anything. And this is the next lap now. Lewis Hamilton, and this means the top 5 is going to be me, Magnussen, Norris, Mick, and Joe, because Lando, Pierre Gasly, and Lewis was yet to pit. So that's an interesting top 5 because they've all pitted. Even Valtteri Bottas has pitted, but where will Hamilton exit? You can see Carlos, George, Verstappen has already gone past. It's a weird exit. Monaco and Canada gets ahead of Carlos, but his teammate pushed him a bit, and he drops to P14. And right now, the following lap, it was actually it's the same lap. Whatever. It was actually reported to me that Lando has had a problem. It was reported to me on the radio, so that's why he's going very slow. He's not supposed to be battling a Haas, but look here, he is. To make Schumacher gets the better exit. He gets DRS. What can Lando do into the hairpin and to the chicane? I mean, nothing. He loses out, but he will get DRS on the main straight. Oh no, Mick still retains the DRS. That's tough luck. He's gonna lose out outside of the DRS range, Lando Norris is. And it's Guan Yu Zhou now catching up. But here's Max Verstappen later on down the lap, trying to get a move done on Sebastian Vettel. He moves to the outside line. The Red Bull powertrain versus the Mercedes engine. He does get ahead of Sebastian Vettel. And they're now way behind Alex Albon. But anyways, going up ahead. Lando Norris no longer in DRS range of Mick Schumacher. Guan Yu Zhou gets the DRS open. He's gaining time on the McLaren, who has an issue. I'm not sure what issue it is though. But here we go. DRS open. What can he do going down into turn 1? Is he going to attempt to move? He does. He backs out of it at the last second. As Lando Norris continues to fall behind to Mick Schumacher. Now 1.7 seconds behind the German driver in the Haas. But right now on board of Guan Yu Zhou, you can see he's just much quicker than Lando Norris down in the straight. So it's probably a power unit issue. Yeah. Now DRS. Guan Yu Zhou will have DRS on Lando Norris. He finds an opening down the inside. What can Lando do to defend the position? Lando Norris, he's pushed wide. And Guan Yu Zhou gets the better exit. But Norris, he's going to try and find an opening here. What can he do? As he goes down the inside of Guan Yu Zhou. Yuki Tsunoda gets past Valtteri Bottas. Right there, but here we go. He attempted to move, but he's not overtaken him yet. As Yuki Tsunoda alongside Valtteri Bottas, Lando Norris alongside Guan Yu Zhou. And both of the Alfa Romeo drivers get overtaken by the AlphaTauri and the McLaren, as Lando has an issue, and he's just backing everyone up. It's a massive DRS train. As you can see in the background there, Sebastian Vettel gets past Max Verstappen again. But nope, to no avail. He remains in P10. Someone pitted, I guess. But yeah, that was a crazy sequence of events. Now later on in the lap now, Guan Yu Zhou, Lando Norris pushes him slightly wide. Zhou gets the better exit. What's going to come of this at the hairpin? Lando and Norris will have DRS, but Zhou will get the better exit. We'll see what's going to come up of this. You just see the massive train of cars. You don't see this in real life Formula 1. But here we go. Lando Norris with the slipstream on Guan Yu Zhou going into the final hairpin. As Zhou goes wide, that's probably a lockup. He blocks his teammate. Max Verstappen gets a better exit than him. He gets ahead of Guan Yu Zhou. Zhou has no DRS. And yeah, that was probably just a lockup from Zhou. So that's why he lost out right there. But right now, Lando Norris on board, trying to chase down Yuki Tsunoda. Max Verstappen is now right back in the fight. You can see just how much time was lost to Mick Schumacher. As Lando Norris is holding off Max Verstappen. He doesn't seem like he's able to catch up the AlphaTauri, but he was quite racy with the Alfa Romeo. As Max Verstappen goes down the inside of Lando Norris. Just brilliant racing happening here in Montreal, but they're 1.9 seconds. They're pretty much 2 seconds behind the AlphaTauri. As Norris tries to attempt the move on Max Verstappen, Zhou goes on the outside. He's gonna get a much better exit, and he's getting helped by the DRS. But now it's time for us to pit for a pit stop. As we're going from the hard to the medium tires. Kevin Magnussen is also going to pit this lap. Where are we going to exit though? Where is it going to be as we switch over to the medium tires? It's a 2.7 second pit stop. Not bad considering it's Ferrari. 20 laps spent on the hard tire. Now we're on the mediums. And Mick Schumacher gets ahead of us. And now we're gonna find out where we cross the white line. God damn it! But here we go. We're gonna find out where Kevin Magnussen comes out. I switched over to the medium tire. Did he start on the hard? I'm not so sure. That was a slow stop. Is there something wrong with the right jack right there? Wheel gun. The right wheel gun. Here we go on to exit the pit lane. Going down to turn 2. He gets ahead of George Russell. Now he gets in between the two Mercedes. It's a Mercedes and Haas sandwich. But anyways, here's the replay from lap 20. Here's Guan Yu Zhou. He just locks up, I think his left tire. And yeah, he gets a poor exit into the corner. And here's Max Verstappen cruising ahead of the Chinese driver. And Yuki Tsunoda up ahead. They're getting past Lando Norris. So right now, Max Verstappen on Yuki Tsunoda. He's not going to do anything. He's going to pit. I think same with Carlos too. Charles Leclerc comes into the pits. Doesn't make sense. He's made his mandatory tire swap. But yeah, our teammates also going to pit. The AI are stupid in this race. It's unfathomable levels of stupid. And this means Yuki Tsunoda's on the podium, because I don't think Zhou is going to catch him up. Sebastian Vettel's in the top 5, but will Max end up ahead of Valtteri Bottas? Yes, he does. But how about Charles Leclerc? Charles Leclerc ends up behind Valtteri Bottas. Here we go, now on to lap number 23. We're chasing down Mick Schumacher as we set the fastest lap of the race. And Mick Schumacher's on pretty scruffy hards right now. He's just gonna try and nurse them home to the end of the race as we gain a bunch of time on him. Just ignore the corner cuts. Pretend they're the old F1 track limits rules. As we're behind Mick Schumacher right now, we set a purple first sector. A DRS open, no need to use the battery right here. We're gaining time on him. And it's gonna be a late lunge into the chicane right here as we get ahead of Mick Schumacher, and we're already 9/10 ahead of him at the exit. I think we may have pushed him a bit wide, but he will have DRS going down the back straight after the hairpin. Can he make anything off of that? We have the same engine package. As he has DRS open, yeah, he's gaining some time. And will it be enough to have DRS on the main straight though? I don't think it will be. As Mick Schumacher, oh wow, hit an invisible block, an invisible barrier. Yuki Tsunoda gets past. And let's check out the replay cams right here. Where that happened, Mick Schumacher goes through the hairpin, hits the wall of champions. He's going to be a champion in the future. He's not in F1 23, is he? But here's Mick. Here's the onboard of Mick Schumacher. Yep, just hit an invisible tire barrier. And there's Yuki Tsunoda. And with Mick's retirement, it actually makes it an all-Asian podium. And I'm gonna make the stupidest thing you've ever seen. So we go into the pits, and we're gonna box for soft compound tires. God damn it. I don't know why I did this. I thought I would be much faster, but these are only good for like 3 laps, and then they've fallen off. As Yuki Tsunoda gets past us, Guan Yu Zhou gets past us. Will Sebastian Vettel get into the top 3? Sebastian Vettel's in the top 3. As George Russell gets us, but where will we end up? We're gonna end up just in front of George Russell. And we have the soft tire, so it should be a cruise to the end. Maybe. Here we go. Behind Kevin Magnussen. And this is Yuki Tsunoda's first ever safety car restart of his career. So right here, I think he's maintaining the speed faster than I am. It's just generic AIs for the safety car restart. As we're alongside Kevin Magnussen, I just remember that that's not allowed anymore. Yep. It's not trying to overtake. We actually lose a lot of time there. You can see that's the barrier Mick hit. Calls him to DNF from the race. But it's green flags now. And we're just closing in on Magnussen, but nothing's making up of it. We're gonna go around the outside. He closes the door slightly on us. It's now on board of Kevin Magnussen's rear wing. Right there, he's defending just like he did in Imola. And George Russell, you can see the background, pulls alongside us. Ricciardo tries to go on the outside of George Russell, just doesn't work. And the Mercedes guys didn't pit again. They're on the one stop, but the Ferrari and the Red Bull guys are on the one stop. As Alex Albon, Fernando Alonso gets past Alex Albon, he's now up into P10. The Alpine versus the Williams. As Esteban Ocon is going to try the outside. Albon is going to get back down the inside of Fernando Alonso, but Alonso gets a much better exit and no DRS here. What will Esteban Ocon do going into the final hairpin? The Alpine versus the Mercedes, the Williams. Ocon goes round the outside, but he gets brilliant defending from Alex Albon in the Williams right there. Now back to our onboard. It's lap number 29. Trying to go around the outside of Magnus. We get a good look down the inside. What can we do here? Will we get him there? Yes, we overtake Kevin Magnussen by corner cutting. And there definitely wasn't a flashback cut right there. But Lando Norris, I think they've got their issue resolved. And Sebastian Vettel is in the top 3 in his final Canadian Grand Prix ever. As we're gaining on Lando Norris. 6 laps remaining, 7 laps remaining. Can Yuki Tsunoda hold on to this lead to be the first ever Japanese Grand Prix winner? As we're gonna make a dive down the inside on the hairpin, slightly locking up, pushing him a bit wide, but we're gonna get a better exit and we push him wide. And Kevin Magnussen is now in the mix, and yep, he's gonna go down the inside of Norris. What can he do right here? Magnussen, will he maintain the position? Lando Norris gets ahead of him. He rides the curb slightly, George Russell is in the mix now. He gets ahead of Kevin Magnussen. The Mercedes versus the Haas. He goes down the inside of Norris. They touch their wheels and the side pods. George Russell gets a brilliant exit, but Norris, great defending, going down to turn 5 or turn 4 and 6. But you can see right there in the top right there, we get ahead of... No, we don't get ahead of Sebastian Vettel. We go alongside. He's going very slowly there. But we're watching two battles at once. We have DRS on Sebastian Vettel. We're gonna go down the inside of Sebastian Vettel. What a brilliant move. We do that with a bit of corner cutting, but Vettel does not lose out any bit on his time. He maintains it. And here's George Russell right now with the battle of the two Brits. And it's gonna be a very tight one into the hairpin. Here's Lando Norris, but George will get the better exit. Ricciardo tries to get it. He goes down the inside. He has to back off. Now that's gonna be ugly. It could be like that PSGL in Mexico thing. But a DRS is finally open, and Kevin Magnussen might get the advantage out of this. As that could have been a Singapore. Norris backs out of that. And yeah, I don't think fucking Russell's DRS, as Lewis Hamilton tries to make a move on Norris, but he's not able to. Look at that DRS train. Oh yeah, and Bottas has retired for reliability issues. And no one cares about that. Yeah, you can see right there in the background, Valtteri Bottas is now it's our turn to get Zhou Guan Yu in his Alfa Romeo, and we're in the Ferrari. We're in the senior team of Alfa Romeo, pretty much. As we're 3/10 behind him. Can we do anything into the hairpin? Nope. We're just not close enough. As right now, we're gonna have DRS though on the Alfa Romeo, but going into the midfield battle. You see the Mercedes of Hamilton just holding up the two Alpines. Yeah, going back to the front, we're gonna try down the inside of the chicane. No good though, because there's just not enough room. But DRS now. What can we do into turn 1? We go down the inside. No, we don't. Okay, Joe is holding us up pretty decently right here. We're losing a chunk of time to Yuki Tsunoda. Nope, just not enough room here. What can we do right here? He closes the door on us. We find it. We open the door again. We go down the inside of Guan Yu Zhou. Yep, next up is Yuki Tsunoda. We have DRS. He does not, because we are ahead at the detection zone. But right now, Lewis Hamilton trying a move on Lando Norris. He goes round the outside. Now he has the inside line. Who has the better exit though? But now we're going into the hairpin, and Norris has the better line to the hairpin. Alonso tries going around the outside. Hamilton locks up, and both Alpines get past the Brit. Does Max Verstappen get past Hamilton too? No, he's going very slowly through there. And he has no DRS. Here's Alonso and Ocon. They're both going to get points now. Alonso ahead of Ocon though. Into the chicane. Oh, Alonso moves wide a bit. Gets the corner there. Loses a bit of time. But yeah, Hamilton loses 2 positions in 1 corner. That was tragic. Let's look at the replay in a bit shortly. Here we go. Here's the onboard of Hamilton. And yeah, he will... why didn't he have DRS? He should have had DRS. He locks up right here. And yeah, the 2 Alpines were coming in. If he didn't back off, that would have been ugly. But yeah, now the Alpines got DRS. Alonso had the better exit than Esteban Ocon. Lewis did not have DRS. Alonso just, yeah, he went wide, cut the corner a bit, closed the door on Esteban Ocon. And here's the onboard with Alonso. You can see he backs off there because Hamilton's closing the door. Hamilton locked up. Oh, that was... yeah, that definitely would have been messy if he didn't avoid that. And here's Alonso going for the move on Esteban Ocon. Good stuff. Yeah. So goes down the outside, cuts the corner, loses time because of the sausage curb. And yep, now it's our turn to get past Yuki Tsunoda. He's had a fun time leading the race. He thought he would have won his first race. But we're going to do a pro gamer move into the hairpin. We're going to try the outside. Now we're going to go down the inside into second gear. Clean overtake on Yuki Tsunoda. And now we just have to nurse our tires to the end. And yep. Going down to later down the grid. Here's Lewis Hamilton trying to get back into the points. He's just positioned down on Esteban Ocon. This is going to be terrible for the championship. His teammate will gain 10 points. Well, he gains 0. It's going to be 30 points down at the championship as Max Verstappen goes round the outside at the chicane. That was a brilliant move. And here's Pierre Gasly. Charles Leclerc is 3 wide going into turn 1. Gasly gets ahead of Max. He pushes Max wide. Oh, it's full of touching and collisions right here. This is brilliant racing in Montreal. We don't see this in real life that much anymore. It's like as if this was 2010. Hamilton and Charles Leclerc going at it. Who will end up in front? Leclerc ends up in front as Hamilton blocks off Carlos Sainz right there. And let's check the replay. Verstappen gets ahead of Hamilton round the outside at the chicane. He gets DRS. Hamilton no DRS. Pierre Gasly behind. He squeezed through that very well. As yep, he makes contact with Max. That was very aggressive of him right there. It's 3 wide here. And here's Charles Leclerc just going at it with the Mercedes. And this is just like real life where a Mercedes customer team is overtaking the Mercedes factory team. And I think one of the reasons could be that Lewis tires are already going. But after all that, this is the most important part of it. Just nursing the car home, not pushing it or anything. Butters was good luck because I was not caught up in any of that drama and action. It could not. Sebastian Vettel's really close to Guan Yu Zhou there. We go very slow through the hairpin. I'm just using our battery since we didn't really utilize it the entire race. As we're gonna go through the hairpin right now, we're gonna maintain the championship lead. We have an even bigger lead, and we win the Canadian Grand Prix. As in the background there, it's Guan Yu Zhou completes an all-Asian podium. Sebastian Vettel not able to overtake him. What a race!
Great drive! We did it! Good job! We did it!
They take the checkered flag then here in Canada in what has been another fabulous Grand Prix. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I feel consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today, and a stunning win for Ferrari. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things
Right,
look
so
at the
yeah, that was
drivers'
actually a good race and a great result for the championship, and a
Let's
great
focus on
result
the
for
driver of the
diversity
day.
as it's an all-Asian podium.
Who do you pick?
Sebastian Vettel
Today,
missed
I
out on
think I'll
possibly
give
his
it to
last
the Haas
podium.
driver.
It's time
And
to
fun
see how
fact,
things are
Valtteri
shaping up in the
Bottas still
Constructors'
doesn't
Championship.
have any
Ferrari
points.
take the lead at the top of the
So
table. Another
yeah,
team that will be
this was
satisfied with this
that was a
Grand Prix
brilliant
is
race.
Alfa Romeo,
There was
whose good
lots of
results moved them
action.
further up the
Actually, if I was a
championship.
better
And
commentator,
with
this
that,
race
we
would
wrap
have been
up another
amazing.
weekend of motorsport action. But with more
But
races
I'm a shit
lined up,
commentator,
be
so
sure to join
what
us
what
when
can I
we
do
come
about it?
back with more Formula
Anyways,
One.
save the entire replay, and check out the standings here. We're 30 points clear. We're 40 points clear of our teammate, so he's out of the battle pretty much. And yeah, Daniel Ricciardo moves to 7th. We get back at Mercedes after they overtook us in the last race. AlphaTauri's in P6 now, and Aston Martin's in P9. So yeah, good race, great result. See you for the British Grand Prix.